All right. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's Keefe, and you're watching another edition of GhostCultMag.com's weekly ritual, our weekly rock and metal news live stream, bringing you everything you missed. Doesn't seem like I am fully live everywhere else. I'm trying to work on that right now. Holler if you hear me on all the socials. Let me know where you're at, where you're seeing this show. Best experience for this show is always YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch. We're also on TikTok. I'll try to connect with y'all there. Feel free to ask questions. Tell me where you're at. I will try to help you. We always like any kind of donations, but whatever you got, you got. Scooter's here. I think we're on Insta, but my device is not working too good, so maybe I'm going to restart the Insta device and see what happens. But we'll come back soon. Instagram, bud. Word. All right. Appreciate the comments. And yeah, we made it to September. It's Virgo season. It's September. It's back to school. It's back to work for some of y'all. It is NFL. First NFL game is going on right now. I know. Tough to compete with the most popular thing in the world for those other than soccer. And my TikTok device is a little further away, so I'll try to reach over in as unflattering a manner as possible for me. But yeah, I'm glad to be here another week. I am not in my home studio, as you can see. I'm working remote. I am pet sitting for a dear friend of mine, and watching a beautiful dog and cat who are buddies, best friends of mine for a long time, and I'm taking care of them. And let us dispense with the pleasantries and do the damn thing like we always do. We've been trying to do some more stuff, some more content for y'all as possible. And yeah, trying to bring you all the stuff. I know why the device wasn't working. It was on Do Not Disturb. Who's a genius? This guy is not one. Because I was trying to charge it fast, so I had it on Do Not Disturb and airplane mode. Ha ha! Ha ha ha! All right, we'll just get it sorted in one more second. If you're into the NFL, let me know who your team is. Drop a comment with your team and some fighting words. My team is the unfortunate New York Football Giants. They have been my team for a very long time. I grew up as a fan of theirs as a child. Unfortunately, I root for the uniform. I don't care about the guys, if they're there or not. Don't care about Saquon going to the Eagles. We're going to stuff him. He's going to regret it. It's all good. I'm going to take a sip of my Liquid Death Mountain Spring water. Sparkling water, technically, this week. And yeah, if you got an NFL rooting interest, I guess the Chiefs and Ravens are playing right now. It's probably a preview of the championship game, or there's a couple other teams that could factor in there. But let me know who you got. Let me know who you got this year. Who your favorite team is, win, lose, or draw. I root for the uniform, not necessarily always the guys in the uniform, but I root for my team. All right, let's get on with the show. And again, what a crazy week, like right out of the holiday and into just the fire of music news, rock and metal news. We cover all the things, rock and metal news, music festivals, metal festivals, tour dates and one-off shows and events, and then all the big stories of the week. We had a couple this week that are just mind-blowing, including the news today that I'm sure people are interested in partially. And then give a little breakdown of all the new music coming out this week for New Music Friday, and then a little something fun from my mailbag or something I picked up like merch or something at a show. And the guy in the is here. Bulldog Eric is here. Eric Diaz is here. Jess is here. Scooter is here. Appreciate y'all. See who else is watching elsewhere. Some people are passing by. And then after the mailbag, we say goodbye. So it's Friday everywhere else in the world except California, where I am. And it's a dinner hour in California. Everywhere else, it's just about Friday. Maybe late night East Coast. 333 is here. Mike is here. Dad Punk 93 is here. Dad Punk might like some of the stories we have coming up later. Barbie is here. If you're new here, feel free to give us a like and a subscribe. I don't beg for subs. It's nice to have, but I transported my setup here to this remote location I don't live at. So we're hoping for the best technology-wise. And it seems like my internet connection is immense. I could have plugged it in, but I didn't. We'll do our best. We'll do our best. So, this is the show. This is what we do. This is how we do it. And again, technically the Friday show on Thursday night. That's how we do. Thanks for everybody who just gifted us a gift. Appreciate you. Very nice of you. Xander is here. RT1359 is here. Appreciate seeing some people that popped in. Time for the announcements. This is how we start the show every week. We cover the things. We cover all the things. Thanks, bud. Yeah, this is Joe Bob, man. Shutter. The drive-in. Very Violent Valentine. This was a shirt I got from Fright Rags, the official partner of Shudder and all their shows and their movies and stuff. And you'll see me with monster movies. It's spooky season also. So it's September. It's Virgo season. It's NFL season. My birthday is next week or week after next. And then it's also spooky season unofficially. Like, I don't want to see anything for Thanksgiving or Christmas. I'm sure we will. I don't care about these. Disabled Vets is here. What's up? Tim is here. I don't want to hear anything about anything else except Halloween until November 1st. It's time for all the horror. So let's do the announcements. Some heavier than others. This is a tough one. I don't know if the people of a certain age remember when Barnes and Noble had physical stores. They have had less and less the last few years, maybe almost none. They used to have a giant flagship store in Union Square in New York City. They had another Epic store. It was smaller, but it was pretty great on 5th Avenue and 20th, across the street from where I worked for part of the 90s. And the founder, or the co-founder of Barnes & Nobles, who really built it into what it became, Leonard Riggio, passed away. This photo is from the news report of him dying at 83, and he was a nerdish bookworm business guy, and very sad. He passed from ALS, Alzheimer's disease. I can't imagine a worse way to go. Dear all of my friends, if I somehow get a debilitating mental disease, please smother me with a pillow. I don't want to live that way. Thank you. It'll be in my notes. Tom Barnes is here. Hi, Tom Barnes. Hell's Bartender is here. Hell's Bartender, I need a drink. Stone Cold Steve Austin or Donald Trump. I mean, that's like asking if Lemmy could fight God, like Stone Cold all day long. Like, no, thank you, Donald Trump. We tried that already. It didn't work. We're not going back. We don't get too political here, but I'm not going to lie. Scooter says there's one Barnes & Noble, and it's not Barnes & Nobles. It's Barnes & Noble. That's the name of the brand. There's one left in St. Louis. I'm sure there's a few around. But I used to love that place. I don't know if they have one near here anymore. All right. Batman Scoop, hip-hop legend, hype man, rapper, passed away suddenly, I think on stage. Yikes. Very scary, very sad. Not great. It's not a great time. Guys my age. Early 50s, tough time in the world. And then I couldn't find a picture of this guy that I had permission to use. This is an infamous Tyler guitar. The founder of Tyler Guitars died this week. His claim to fame was these sort of, first he was like a legendary producing guy in the LA area, but also like he made these very distinctive Strat copies with a very funny looking angular kind of weird cut neck that was like his signature. And a lot of people love these guitars. And he died this week after an illness. So that's very sad. Once again, let's see. Yep, Reggio, Batman Scoop. This show and every show for the time being is dedicated to our friend Sonia Ramos, Sonia Shredder on Instagram. So guitar luthier in Florida. And, she's battling late stage cancer. We've been talking about this every week on the show. And if you can donate, the link is in our description and in our link tree. If you can donate something to her cause, we would appreciate it just as a personal thing. We don't really we appreciate donations. We get donations all the time. Nicole sent a little prize. Thank you on TikTok. Thanks, Nicole. Hell's Bartender asked, do I think Joe Bob is finally going to give in to Darcy and do Halloween 3 Season of the Witch? I fucking love Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I know it's not related to the rest of the series. It's one of my favorite freaking movies. Not just horror movies, not just Halloween series movies, but that movie. I love that movie unapologetically. I think Joe Bob is going to give in and do it because Keith said so. Stone Cold Keefy, not just Ghost Cold Keefy. I'm going there. But anyway, Sonia Ramos, our heart goes out to you. We love you, and we're pulling for you. Also, once again, we're trying to get our favorite dog in the San Francisco area. I'm out of the San Francisco area today. This is my friend Django with Necro Butcher, who Ghost Cult has interviewed before. We will never be welcome back to Norway after that interview with him, because he was like, fuck the Norwegian government. And I was like, you guys went from terrorist watch lists to heroes. I can understand why they were mad at you. But anyway, we're trying to get our little buddy sainted. And just because sometimes of all this depressing shit, we need some fun. So if you can sign a petition, it doesn't cost you anything except like 2 seconds of your time. We would like it. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's the petition. And then just a reminder, we're on all the things. We just launched a new newsletter on Substack. We have a regular newsletter we send out every week on MailChimp, but we're slowly moving that over to Substack and getting rid of MailChimp because it's just unreliable and I'm tired of it. But wherever you like it, if you're tired of social media and you don't want to rely on social media, I say this often. People tell me every week, even band people, I didn't know this album was coming out. I didn't know so-and-so put out a record. When are you coming on our tour? I missed the tour. How did I miss the tour? Where can I find all this news from? Well, we do that. That's what we do. That's why we're here. So you can sign up for our newsletters or follow us on one of our feeds and get a direct impact of all of our content all the time. And it's not like, oh, follow only us. Listen, you could spend your time with anybody. If you're passing by even for a second, I heart you, because it's hard to do this. And there's a lot of choices of places to get your rock and metal information. So we're on all the things. We are on all the things. What else? Twitter/X is terrible. Clint88 is here. Bob Loves Music is passing by. Bob, love you, pal. I believe you went to RPM Fest this last weekend, which we covered. Our homie Chris Small is always there. We were a sponsor last year. We were not this year, but we will return again. This is not personal, just a financial thing. And, again, all the love to you, Bob Loves Music. So, we're here doing the thing. We're on Discord. We're on Reddit, whatever you like. Reddit is blowing up right now. And now, time for some special features we worked on this week. Shocked about the vitriol news today. Oh, man, it is so fucking hard. I had heard some rumblings that there was kind of some trouble in paradise with them. And, it's tough to have. It's just tough. It's just tough right now for anybody to just be in the business. Like, the music business is brutal. You're seeing this constantly. We'll talk about it in a second. You are seeing a constant stream of bands, big bands, name bands, cancel tours, book tours at the last second, and then drop out. Overbook a tour and then have nobody show up. I know it's happening a lot in pop music. We saw, Wylde as Madonna and Janet Jackson sell out whole arenas, and then J-Lo can't. It's not because J-Lo sucks suddenly. She's been doing music a long time and been a huge star for 25-something years, maybe 30 years. Silver Shamrock. But yeah, man, just tough, just weird. I think I interviewed that guy also. It was tough. Kyle. I've interviewed Adam before, and Kyle, actually. Kind of sad, but they'll figure it out. And Dan Martinez already quit, so not our pal Dan Martinez, the bassist. But it's tough out there. We'll check out Kyle. Kyle's great. We love Vitriol. I feel like they were at one of these shows we did recently, maybe Goat Whore, that has a review coming out, but I don't know if they played the LA show or not. But yeah, tough stuff. So it's time for the big features of the week. And Friday is Bandcamp Friday, the first one since June. And, you know, I know Bandcamp, Tuggles 818 is here. I know it's like Bandcamp is a difficult topic for a lot of people because, you know, they got sold to Epic Games and maybe they're not run right that much anymore. But, you know, it's still one of the things that pays bands the best. So if you have a band, share your Bandcamp tomorrow. If you don't have a Bandcamp, make one tonight. If you like a lot of bands and buy a lot of music, consider buying something on Bandcamp tomorrow or pre-ordering something on Bandcamp tomorrow that's coming out soon, because that's how the bands get the most cut of their money. And then, yeah, I like the Garza podcast, by the way, Dillinger. Dillinger Compound is here. We had some Dillinger news that showed up late, so I didn't get into this show, but I'll talk about it when the shows come, because I think the Philadelphia Dillinger show is very interesting, and I just like trying to put this show together at the 11th hour for me while I'm busy here taking care of pets and doing other stuff for my personal life at work. I didn't put it into the deck, but we're going to talk about it because you're here, Dillinger, if you hang out another, 15 minutes. But Bandcamp Friday, we still don't know the future fate of the company. I don't like any company that tries to bust unions or not support unionizing when they need one, but Bandcamp Friday's tomorrow. Maybe it's a thing for you. Also, just a reminder, we do features on the website, ghostcoldmag.com. This is where all this stuff lives anyway, when it's not on YouTube or streaming or socials. And so we did a retrospective of Ashes of the Wake. We have some Lambgoat news potentially coming up in a few minutes. We also, again, recently did a thing on the closure of St. Vitus Bar. The Kingsland has now closed. I don't know if I'll have a chance to do as an extensive piece that I did on Kingsland as I did Vitus. Vitus is around a lot longer. I have a bigger connection to it, but very sad to see the Kingsland also go. So if you're interested in this piece either on our website or as a video, you can check that out after we're done here. Or if you get bored of me and you want to leave, I hope not, but it does happen. It does happen. Somebody's watching on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Hi there on YouTube. Say hi, drop a comment, tell us who you are, where you are, ask questions, probe my mind, not my anus, ask me some questions. And so yeah, we do features and things when we're not doing this. We had a killer, amazing thing. Life of Agony dropped a standalone brand new single last week in memory of Brandon Lee, the Crow, as a tribute to the original Crow movie. A lot of controversy about the terrible new Crow movie starring Bill Skarsgård, a.k.a. the guy from It and also Dune 2. And Joey Z, Life of Agony, we're very fond of them. I've interviewed the whole band. I've interviewed Alan Robert many times, and we'll do it again sometime soon. His new book is out this week, his new Beetlejuice book, in time for the Beetlejuice movie. And Omar Cordy, my partner, interviewed Alan Robert in a wide-ranging interview, first focusing on the Crow song and this brand new standalone single. The band has a show this week in New York. We'll talk about that in a few. And also about Joey's whole career. He's doing production now. If you want to get your band produced by Joey, we've got the contact information. If you want to hear about the old times in Brooklyn with Typo Negative guys and Life of Agony and that relationship, and a bunch of other bands, it's hella cool. And maybe some potential big news coming soon from Life of Agony about 2025 and beyond. Good stuff, all. Also, Matt James. People know we've been supporting the band Blacktop Mojo for their entire career here, basically parallel with the career of Ghost Cult. And their new album, Pollen, came out back in April. That was completely crowdfunded by their diehard fans. And we sat down with Matt James for our third or fourth interview with him in our career and his. And we talked about the new album and singing and a whole bunch of other stuff. If you like Alice in Chains and also Jelly Roll, you might, in fact, like Blacktop Mojo, and that's just a sampling of some familiar references. Definitely one of the most exciting, coolest bands out there making new music. Also, we did a bunch of premieres this week, and but also before that, this is actually the band Dune, D-V-N-E, but also Dune, and a Dune-themed metal band where they literally make songs about the Frank Herbert books. And we interviewed their drummer, Dudley, who rules, and we talked to him all about their new record, Voidkind, which is out now on Metal Blade Records. I don't know if you guys are just like, some people are record label loyalists. I don't know if you are. I am. Obviously, I'm a generalist as a writer, and I obviously cover a lot of labels. But there are certain labels, it's just like I know everything that comes out from a certain label is going to just rule. And so I go hard to support them. And Metal Blade is one of those labels. I've literally been buying Metal Blade records my whole life, since it was before a teenager even, maybe. And, you know, pretty much they never have put out a record I don't like. So I don't know. That's just me. Tell me if you do the same. Some labels are curated so well, they just match your taste, right? Okay. Another interview coming to the site probably after this show tonight is going to be Castle. Castle's new album comes out tomorrow. We've got an interview with them. Our own Morgan Evans did a Q&A with them. That's going to go up on the site when this show is done, probably in between this show and my dinner. And out here on the West Coast, they're based in San Francisco. And a very cool band I've also followed around for a long time. Once again, we did a little follow-up piece to our interview with Gene Hoglan, the greatest drummer in the world, the Atomic Clock. And again, Omar interviewed Gene in a wide-ranging interview about the Death Clock tour in the spring. And Gene then talked about everything in his career. It was wild. Probably one of the most comprehensive interviews ever with Gene Hoglan. So you can check out a little snippet from that, uploaded to our site, a little follow-up piece. Red Chord hinted at a special event and suspected it was Dillinger related. Yeah, Red Chord is another band that kind of like in and out of retirement. I saw them a lot back in the day. You know, fun band to see live. I don't really sit around and listen to their records. I know I lived in Boston, so like I saw them coming up and also breaking up and also with a different singer. But it's cool if you like them. They're great. They have some clients is fucking flawless. You know, very similar. I think I prefer Acacia Strain and Fifth Burn Autopsy to Red Chord, but Red Chord's excellent, man. I go see them again. I like to see them again. Just a reminder, we have a podcast, the Ghost Cult Magazine podcast. This show's going to be a podcast. Some people have time to only little bits of time a week. Melissa Henders and Babylon Sun also joined here on TikTok and said, hi, hello. But yeah, we have a podcast, and we have some very specific podcast things. So we, our shows become podcasts, but we also have podcast-centric, only podcast shows. So definitely check it out if you like podcasts more than you like videos. Another podcast I'm part of is the Glacially Musical Podcast. We did a new episode this week. I don't know if you guys are aware that Gimme Metal returned as a vinyl club and a t-shirt club. They don't have the radio stations anymore, but they sell a lot of vinyl. And Nick and I, my co-host on Glacially Musical, or I'm his co-host actually, we both got the new Ghoul reissue of Splatter Thrash, the Gimme Metal vinyl exclusive. We unboxed the vinyl. We talk all about it. We had our guest in, Danny Nichols of Torchlight Parade, and a bunch of other bands. Danny rules. Great guy. I've hung out with him in person. Love him. And checking out the Ghoul Splatter Thrash reissue and breaking down the Ghoul album and talking about some Ghoul history and their interesting relationship with war. What else? Also, we did have a bunch of premieres this week. We have one tomorrow I can't announce yet, but we had Riding with Killers. We also did Gigantum. These are some killer bands that have new music out. Go check it out on the site. Just a reminder, we have some affiliates to plug. We are partners with Lambgoat, aka the Lambgoat Media Network. So when you see ads on our website at ghostcultmag.com, those are from Lambgoat, and we also created opportunities. We gave away 2 sets of tickets to see the Slayer reunion at Riot Fest. It's $800 tickets. One set of tickets was VIP, probably even $1,000 on the value of that. Another set of tickets, just GA tickets, is easily like $600 for Riot Fest. We gave away passes to New England Metal and Hardcore Fest last week, so a lot of stuff going on there. We have some more contests coming up soon, but Lambgoat is our partner for a lot of things. Websites in the Lambgoat network are not just Ghost Cult and Lambgoat, but also Metal Insider, New Metal Agenda, and Anthony Fantano, The Needle Drop, among others. Also This Day in Metal. So like some of the most popular trafficked websites and social media people around. Dog is barking for some reason. It's probably just the mailman. Chris Moreno 194 is here. Lord Infernus is here. None is here. And then just again, if you're watching this, except on TikTok, sorry y'all, StreamYard is where you're seeing this perfect view of this show. So you see me, you see the ticker, you see the dashboard, you see the camera angle, all the same on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitch, and others. And so StreamYard are our homies. We have an affiliate link with them. If you sign up for StreamYard, you get $10 off of your subscription with them. We get $10 off our next bill. Ray Spruill is here. Hello, Ray. I'm trying to say hi to y'all. And yeah, we love StreamYard, man. We love StreamYard. One of my peers, Most Epic Adventures, our homie, got the StreamYard duck tattooed on him, and I think they gave him a lifetime deal. I am not going to get a StreamYard tattoo, but I do like them a lot. Hopefully the dog calms down. We'll have to go check in. All right, moving on with the news. Let's do the thing. Metal Festival starting this week. Next weekend is Desertfest New York. Ghost Cult is officially confirmed to be covering this. We love Desertfest. We have covered 3 or 4 different Desertfests all over the world. All over the world, as I like to say. And look at this lineup for Desertfest New York. I mean, it's insane. Legions of Doom, High on Fire, Amun-Ra, Beelzebub, Russian Circles, Acid King, Green Lung, Truck Fighters, Dozer. I've actually interviewed most of these bands. Hippie Death Cult, who I saw earlier in the year. Gozu, my homies from Boston. Tower, High Desert Queen, and many more. What a lineup. We will bring you all of that very soon. Also, Zakk Wylde's Beserkus Fest is coming. That's coming to Eastern Pennsylvania in a couple of weeks. We'll continue to plug that. I don't think we're going to cover it, but it looks kind of cool. Cody Jinx, Black Label Society, Rival Sons, pretty damn fresh. Also, just so you just mentioned Riot Fest with Slayer, and yes, they have some alternative rock and some punk, but also Rob Zombie, Lamb of God, Mastodon, a bunch of hardcore bands. So I had the best time last year. I had a little bit of FOMO for missing out on some things. And I would really like to get back to Riot Fest in another year. This would have been the year to go and see Slayer's first comeback, but I just can't make it work. A couple of other new people here joined. E. Monteresso and Agony Supremacy. Thanks for being here. Stopping by. So Riot Fest is coming up in a few weeks. We're covering that. New England Metal and Hardcore Fest is coming up. We're covering that. Metal Injectionfest is coming. We're hoping to cover that. These are crazy. Knotfest, we finally got the set order and the running times. Let's just take a quick look and see if there are any really terrible clashes. Doesn't seem like it. It seems like they're just alternating bands one after the other. That's how you do it. No clashes. Kieran Scott is here. What's up, Kieran? I think I saw you drop a comment on other socials about the festival we got you with, I believe, Bloodstock. Thanks, pal. Appreciate you. Love your content on TikTok and other places, and we appreciate your band for being so killer. Knotfest, Iowa, we're definitely confirmed to cover that. So Slipknot, Gore, Till Lindemann, Knock Loose, Hate Breed, Poison the Well, whoever new music they're working on, Vended, Dying Witch, Twin Temple. Oh, I love Twin Temple so much. Swollen Teeth, Spine, Dose, Zulu, and Holy Wars. Holy shit, that lineup is sick. Also, Aftershock is right around the corner, and they announced I think there's some moves going on with Aftershock where a couple of bands might be dropping out. We don't have it confirmed yet, but it's coming. Big Boy is here. Big Boy. What's up, Big Boy? I am often called Big Boy, not the rapper. Let's see what else. Bloodstock Open Air. We just started running our reviews of that. We'll have part 2 tonight, I believe. And Bloodstock 2025 already announced its first batch of bands. No real surprise there. Of course, Trivium, Machine Head, and Gojira, along with Emperor, Lacuna Coil, Lord of the Lost, Black Dahlia Murder, Orange Goblin, and many more. What else? This is pretty killer. 70 Tons of Metal. You know, we've covered it before. We usually try to be supportive. They're pretty great. They've already announced the first bunch of bands for the cruise in next winter, January 30th through February 3rd from Miami, Florida to Jamaica. And they announced an exclusive set of performances from Swallow the Sun, who we already love. We talked about their upcoming headline tour last week with Harakiri for the Sky. And they have teamed up with Ballet Finland, who is an avant-garde ballet troupe, to do the Plague of Butterflies performances on the boat. So this is pretty freaking phenomenal. Swallow Sun, very unique and awesome, depressive funeral, like, so not funeral doom, but like melodic gothic doom metal, but not quite, they're not Moonspell, they're not Evergrey, they're their own thing and they're wonderful. I do love them. Not too different than Catatonia though. Lollapalooza South America was announced this week, and Tool, who has apparently never done a festival in South America, is going to do 3 next year. And I keep saying, like, in fact, my interview with Doom, we talked a lot about Tool because both of us are huge Tool nerds. And I was like, I'm really shocked. It's 5 years since Fear Inoculum dropped, which, by the way, again, we had that awesome thing where Maynard, James Keenan, retweeted our meme that we shared of Maynard as Thanos snapping away Taylor Swift and all her record sales because Tool dethroned Taylor Swift, one of the few bands to knock her out of that top spot. I don't think it was for good, but it definitely was for a week or two. And Tool is going to headline Lollapalooza, Argentina, Chile, and Brazil next year. So that is really exciting. Tool continues to not slow down. I was really surprised. I was like, they're not touring constantly for 5 years, but they're touring kind of off and on every year. We had the pandemic. Fear Inoculum came out the summer before the pandemic, and then they have been touring pretty much off and on ever since, in between other things from all the band members. So I'm pretty fascinated by this, and I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. I love Tool. I am that Tool fan. I said this during that interview. I am the Tool fan every meme about Tool is about. I'm that guy. Just wait for like the 9-minute mark. It gets so awesome when the bass solo comes in during Lateralis. Oh my God. I start to drool on myself. I just started drooling right now just talking about it. Yeah, that's what we do. So those are your 3 posters. There's not like a bunch of most heavy bands at this Lollapalooza, but there's enough. There's some, it's mostly pop artists, but there's enough sort of rock to get through. I think there's enough rock to enjoy it. And maybe they'll add some more, but I think it was pretty much a full lineup reveal. I think it was. What's going on in the football game? It is 13-10 Chiefs. Man, those are very evenly matched teams with great offenses. Very cool. Very cool. Glad you're here watching me instead of the football game, but that's fine too. So Louder Than Life is also coming up soon, and they have also announced their running order and their set times and a bunch of other things. We will hopefully be at Louder Than Life. Also, another Slayer will be at Aftershock, will be at Riot Fest, and hopefully Louder Than Life. So that would be the trifecta. We will have covered all three of Slayer's comeback shows, if possible. Blitz's Sonic Journey gave us like a little gift. Thank you, Blitz's Sonic Journey. You're awesome. I appreciate you. Again, I'm just grateful. Chrissy is here. I'm just grateful of anybody. Lorenzo was here. Jack McMuffin was here. I'm just thrilled that anybody stopped by and spent some time with me, like Mr. Rogers, except more evil and fat. Beyond the Gates, which we just ran our coverage of also for 2024, has announced its early bird tickets are sold out already for 2025. So if you want to go, there's still tickets. Greg County passing through. What's up, pal? Good to see you. And Clint88 is here. Greg is awesome. You should give him a follow on TikTok. He is the one of the chiefs of Metal Injection, and he rules as a person. He also makes his own music, which is rad. I'm a fan. I might be his number one fan that's not his wife or family. And I'm just a great guy. You probably didn't hear me say any of that. Heavy Chicago is coming up, and I'm hopeful we're going to cover that as well. This looks pretty awesome, too. Definitely in its second year. Bong Ripper, Earth Crisis, and Cynic are your headliners. A new band to be announced soon. Jamie Josta solo. Toxic Holocaust. And Earthburner, which is a new death metal supergroup of Vernus. The Skull tribute show. Much more things to come. Lie Heavy, I think, is doing that show. We have an interview coming up with Carl H.L., formerly of COC, and now of Lie Heavy and a bunch of other bands. Good times. Inferno Festival has announced Behemoth. We had some tremendous Behemoth news this week to share. We'll talk about them in a minute. Inferno, we've covered that in the past. We look forward to covering it again someday soon. Furnace Fest is coming up around the corner. We'll talk more about that as we get closer. Punk in the Park got announced this week. We've covered this before. So many good metal and punk rock festivals. Punk in the Park San Diego, The Offspring, Pennywise, Streetlight Manifesto, Face to Face, Manic Hispanic, Voodoo Glow Skulls, Bucko 9, Slaughterhouse, Winterhaven, and probably more to be announced. I think. It is November 16th, mid-November in San Diego, a whale's vagina. Probably not. You get that reference? You can be friends with me. Kid Rock kind of looks like a dad who has lost his visitation and has to visit his kids on the weekend. He's only allowed to see his kids and he doesn't go. I will never stop making fun of this fucking guy. I saw Kid Rock first at Woodstock 99. He was pretty impressive. At the end of the day, not an impressive guy. Just kind of a very low intelligence, boring guy. Boring artist. Music for people who don't know better. Listen to Korn. Listen to Spineshank. Listen to Coal Chamber. Listen to Deftones. Don't bother with Kid Rock. All right, that was all the festivals, and it was a lot of them. Let's bang through the concert tours. And first off, I'll just talk if Dillinger Compound, you're still here. So Dillinger Escape Plan announced literally today a show in Philadelphia. And I know that Dillinger fans are diehard people. Kristen Alyssa is here. Hi, Kristen. Dillinger fans are a unique bunch. They are a diehard fan base. They mourn the end of that band hardcore. It was that was a lot of a whole band should never be a whole personality. I'm a metalhead, but I'm a whole lot of other things too. And I love my favorite bands. And I have a battle vest, and I have a beard, and I have an extensive collection of black shirts, and always a clean one ready to go. Scooter saw Kid Rock with Stain opening before they got big. Yeah, I mean, Kid Rock, System of a Down, Power Man 5000, all these bands to varying degrees opened for your second wave of new metal bands, and then I don't know how some of them got huge. I still don't know why Seven Dust didn't get as big as System of a Down or Korn. I really think they should have been. They're not rap metal, but they had a little bit of rapping on their debut album. I think it was just fashionable at the time, but mostly Seven Dust is a metal band, just a rock and metal band. Kind of, to me, bridges the gap between an Alice in Chains and Pantera, but that's just me. But anyway, Dillinger announced a show in Philly. The Red Chord is one of the openers. It looks sick. But I think people, this is right now, especially because I was talking about this earlier, it's so difficult to book tours and do these things and pull them off without losing money. You can't just, sometimes it's for a band like Dillinger, it's just more lucrative to do a little and a little and a little. You can't just book a whole tour so it's easy for everybody. They created a thing in New York City that everybody wanted to go to, that series of shows or one of those special shows, when we thought that's all it was. We were already going to No Values Fest in Pomona, and Dillinger was announced. And I was like, awesome, I'm already going to be there. We'll go. And they were phenomenal. And it was great to see all these punks just not know what the fuck hit them watching this band just fucking break themselves on the stage and be crazy. And it was wonderful to see Dimitri play in front of a huge crowd. When I saw him play in front of a tiny place 27 years ago. Hungarian Headbangers here. Marco's here. Evelyn Castuare is here. I hope I said that correctly. Dean Schaefer or Schaefer 6 is here. Prefab is here. Hello. Hello, everyone. You're watching our Rock and Metal News Show. We're just detailing some music concerts. We just did all the festivals announced and coming. And just talking for a second about Dillinger. I know some Dillinger fans paid a lot of money, went to those shows, and now they feel let down because Philly is not far from New York. Now I have to get these tickets, and now there's going to be more shows. There's going to be more shows. I think you do have to sometimes just pull the trigger, and if you got the money, and these are tough times for everybody right now economically. We're heading for some even more tough times, even though it was actually worse last year. We just, I don't know how much you know about finance. Financial errors and depressions and recessions are usually judged years later, not in the time they're happening, because you look at indicators and how they play out. But if you're of means and you can go see your band and you think they're only going to, Power Trip is only going to play an occasional show, shell out the money and go see them. And if they book another one, don't be too mad because they're trying to live and make money. This has to be lucrative for them or they're not going to do it anymore. Just my 2 cents. Sorry to soapbox a little, but that's kind of what this show is, my soapbox. So Oasis, man, we talked about this last week, broke the internet. And as I predicted, this was going to be a shit show for the tickets. Thank you, whoever just sent us that TikTok universe gift. Clint88 is hanging in there with us. Thank you, Clint. You rule. Is it Clint L? I'm sorry, my vision sucks and the screen is tiny. So Oasis tickets go on sale, and people were queuing, if you're British, for hours, on the virtual waiting room. And the tickets were maybe $150. These are big soccer stadiums. So, if it's going to be all day and there might be some other bands, fine. We don't know what the openers are. We don't even know what the lineup is except for the two brothers. We assume it's going to be some classic Oasis members, but you just don't know. Might only be the two brothers. That's how big the hype is for Oasis if you like them. And immediately Ticketmaster started with their motherfuckery. This dynamic pricing shit happened. People waited for 5, 6, 7 hours clicking refresh on the screen to try to get tickets. Some people did get tickets at the original price point. Other people saw the tickets go up and up and up over hours. And then finally, if you get in with the ability to buy tickets, you have to decide, hey, I thought this was going to be $150. So let's say 2 tickets or 4 tickets is easily $300 or $600. And now suddenly those tickets went from $150 to like $400, $500 a ticket because Ticketmaster and Live Nation have a fucking death grip on our throats. We have to break these companies up, unfortunately. They're too powerful. They should not be able to pivot the pricing. The pricing should be one price. And when the tickets are all sold out, if they're resellers or bots or the company, which has their own reselling arm, wants to resell them for more money, that's different. I think in the window, when a concert ticket goes on sale, here's how much it is. That's it. It cannot change. Front row tickets, you want to charge $1,000. Mosh pit tickets, you want to charge a little more for. Cool. If I want to sit on the lawn or way up in the seats, it should be this price and not changeable until the tickets are all sold out. And these guys are crims, and we're at their mercy. It sucks. So I do feel bad for anybody that wanted to see Oasis and is definitely not going to get to see them. But and then Oasis apparently okay, now there's a rumor they're going to announce more shows. Originally it was 5 shows, then it was 10. Now they might add some additional shows in Europe or the UK. And there's rumors, there was a billboard in Times Square. I meant to pull up the image for you. But there's a billboard in Times Square literally the day after the tickets went on sale. Maybe they should tour the US. We'll leave this billboard here till they do. Amazon. So they know something. Amazon Music is going to probably sponsor either a live stream or a US tour. And I think if it's a US tour and Oasis is only going to do a handful of shows, they probably can do football stadiums, a la Guns N' Roses and Metallica. Do I think Oasis is going to do 100 shows for millions of dollars here like a Taylor Swift? Probably not. Probably not going to do enough shows. And how long do you think that relationship can last anyway? These guys don't like each other, and I don't even know if they talked this entire time during the hiatus of the last 15 years. But anyway, a lot of time talking about Oasis, who I like but don't love. But I thought it was fun to talk about, and it's certainly interesting and affects us all as concert goers. It's Dutch door action. They fuck us, they fuck everybody. Metallica has played their final show in the U.S. of their North American leg of their M72 World Tour year number 2, with 2 shows in Seattle. They're heading to Mexico City for a bunch of shows, and then that's it until their charity show later in the year. Now, in years past, before this M72 tour, Metallica was like, hey, we got nothing going on. Let's book an extra show. Let's book an extra show. Let's book an extra show. And they did that 2 years ago. They have not done that in 2 years. So this might be it for a while. If you're going to Mexico City to see them, cool. But that's it. This is really fun from Seattle. This is my favorite photo on the internet this week. This is, you might know this murderer's row of Seattle-based musicians. Duff McKagan, Sean Kinney, some friend of theirs, Puffy Borden, not based in Seattle, but Puffy of Faith No More, and Kim Dale of Soundgarden, all hanging out at the concert, watching Metallica. Kind of fresh. Not fresh, gotta say. Alchemy Artisti is here. Hello, hello, hello. All right, gonna try to blast through these now that I pontificated quite a lot about Dillinger Escape Plan and Oasis. Slipknot's tours back on. We'll talk a little bit in a second about Sid the Kid and how he's doing after his terrible burn. But Slipknot's back on, next leg of the tour. Slipknot, Knocked Loose, and Vended, leading up to Knotfest, Iowa, and then more shows. In Flames and Arch Enemy and Soilwork. Wow, what a tour that is, kicking off this week, or like this weekend, over in Europe. Holy shit, I need this tour in America right the fuck right now. This is Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I mean, it's kind of tough. Their fan bases could be I was talking about the Dillinger fan base. TSO fans are, this is Trans-Siberian Orchestra's your progressive rock Christmas spectacular. Also, these shows are done mostly for charity. They donate a portion of the proceeds to every ticket for charity. They've raised millions of dollars over 20 plus years. And basically an offshoot of the band Sabotage, for those that don't remember that band. And Alexander Meineke is here. What's up, Alexander? Tim Whitford is here. Jim 13 is here. Clint L88 still hanging in with us. Thank you. Detroit Red Wings, I take it you're a Detroit fan. Are you a Detroit resident, Clint? Because we cover a lot of shows in Detroit with our own Ragin' Rosie who rules. But yeah, TSO finally announced their winter tour. They usually tour November to early January or New Year's Eve. And they're doing an anniversary show for one of their best loved shows. And it's usually a who's who of music makers and known and well-known metal and rock people. So that is freaking cool. But their fans were kind of flipping out, like very angry they hadn't already announced like the whole plans for the year. Yeah, you just gotta give some bands a break. It's tough right now economically. And they do arenas and they sell them out, but you just gotta be patient. Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper, the Freaks on Parade tour is underway. We did a little review of that on the Glacially Musical podcast in our episode about Ghoul. Also with Filter and Ministry, who I personally love. I love Cooper. He has never let me down. I've seen him like 20-something times. Rob Zombie is still fun. I don't think I enjoy the music as much anymore. I don't know if anybody out there is still a Rob Zombie fan. Let me know. Funeral Portrait just passed by and watched this video. Hey, Funeral Portrait, excited about your new music coming out soon. Brujeria kicked off their headline tour, the Mexorcist tour. This is, again, their first tour without Pinche Peach, who died just a few months ago, like a month and a half ago. Holy shit, so sad. I can't imagine going on tour without my brother, who's been with the band for 25, 30 years. Just rough stuff. But we're hoping to cover that tour at some point. Mago de Oz, otherwise known as Wizard of Oz, is a South American folk, rock, and metal band. And they have announced their first headline tour in America, including arenas or big theaters, amphitheaters. That's fucking impressive for a band that's not very super popular here already. So that's kind of impressive. Inani is here. Hi, Inani. I'm sweating like a bank robber for some reason here. It's very warm here in the Bay Area. That's not San Francisco. The whole rest of the Bay Area is sweating balls. San Francisco, never that hot. All right. Just to wrap these up real quick, some more tour dates. We have Mars Red Sky doing a huge headline tour with, I believe, Howling Giant. That's really exciting. And then Papa Roach has got a couple of headline arena shows in the UK next year, and they have announced a second UK show. They are doing the Infest 25 tour. I believe that Infest came out in 2001, but that's when they can do the tour. So Cut My Life Into a Pizza, This Is My Last Resort, and a bunch of other, There's No Money, whatever the Papa Roach hit songs are from 25 years ago. Knocked Loose has announced a headline tour. Very cool. We're into it. Arf, arf, yo. I was aforementioned Life of Agony. We had a little interview with them we talked about earlier. Now they're doing a boat show tomorrow. I have done some of these boat shows, and they are phenomenal. And so Life of Agony is playing on a boat around New York City. It should be a fun time. They're going to play that new song live for the first time. That's super exciting. Also, we talked about this last week. Blood Incantation has announced a headline tour as well as their video, their movie. It's not quite a documentary. It's a visual accompaniment to their current album. And that's pretty rad. That's taking place. The debut of that film will be in LA, and then I suspect it will show in other places and eventually land on YouTube, maybe right away, maybe for purchase. We'll see. Hatebreed again has announced some additional 30th anniversary tours. Again, similar to Dillinger, Hatebreed is had done an extensive tour, but also like little one-off special ones. And they have added Harm's Way and Umbra Vitae and Cryptopsy to 2 shows, Portland, Maine, and Boston, coming up in 3 weeks. And Umbra Vitae is the death metal band, which features members of Converge, and also Ripcord, and also I think the Casey Strain. Sorry, I brain farted there for a minute. You try to keep this much shit in your head every day. Remember all these bands. This looks like fun. I think this is a one-off also. This is Haste the Day and Oh Sleeper co-headline show with special guests. He is Legend and Living Sacrifice. You'll shred your eye out. Taking place, a one-off show for Christmas, apparently. Because there's sort of a Ralphie screaming, "You'll shred your eye out." Did you like that impression? I did not. Yep, Hungarian Headbanger is here. I'm part, like, I have Hungarian ancestry a little bit, but I've always wanted to go. I need to hit Eastern Europe and visit basically multiple homelands of my family. Maybe at some point. All right, yeah, Scooter, thanks for being here, pal. Always much love to you, and thank you for the support, buddy. You have a good night at work. Don't work too hard. Stick it to the man every chance you can. Again, King Buzzo and Trevor Dunn continue to tour. We ran our review of that not too long ago. Kylie 10212 is here. Yo, 212, what? And that is all the concerts and festivals. Now we're going to bang through the news, talk about New Music Friday, show something fun from my mailbag, and then rocking the fucking roll out of here. Thanks for being here. Thanks to those still hanging in with us. You could be watching the football game, which is easily one of the most exciting football games to start the season. Chiefs 20, Ravens 10. I'll just keep the score going here as I lurk in. Third quarter, 9:50 left to go. Chiefs are the home team. Ravens driving. I would never count the Ravens out as long as they have the team they have. All right. Today, the news that broke the internet. Linkin Park has announced their brand new singer. And it's a shocker. It is a surprise. Linkin Park has announced, I didn't see this coming. We all had our predictions. Emily Armstrong of Dead Sarah. Dead Sarah is kind of a punk rock band. She has a really good voice. She's a front woman of her own band, and she is a dead ringer for Chester's raspy scream and melodic singing as well. They had announced a secret show today in LA for their fan club members only. They were all asked to sign waivers. I did see they live streamed the event. Their likenesses would be shown. I did see some people with cell phone cameras, but not too many. So cameras and cell phones might have been discouraged, but some people definitely didn't listen. And it broke the internet. Not only do they have a new singer, they have a new drummer, Colin Britton. You know him best from Illenium and 1OK Rock. And the new lineup of Linkin Park is Mike Shinoda, Brad Delson, Phoenix, Johan, and who I didn't think was going to actually be part of this, Emily, and Colin Brittain. It's Colin Brittain. So, and then they did a concert, and then they released a brand new single right as I went live. The Emptiness Machine is streaming everywhere now, and it's badass. I have to say I really liked it. And they have a new album coming out from Zero on November 15th, and that is for pre-order and pre-save everywhere via their longtime label, Warner Music. You know what? I respect this. If you're going to go at all and bring the band back with a new singer, that person is going to be under the microscope and scrutinized heavily. So don't just come back and tour. John Bailey, Epic Voice Guy, is here. Thanks, John Bailey. Don't just come back and go on tour and make money and take money. Come make a new record. So they've been working with her a long time. They made a new record. They rehearsed the set list already. They played all the hits and bangers. They played some deep cuts. You know the audience is going to sing these songs back. And so on top of new singer, new lineup, new artwork, new logo, new single, new album for pre-order, they announced the From Zero World Tour kicking off next week. Next week. They give no fucks. And I just talked about how hard it is to tour. Linkin Park knows they can sell some dates. Now, it's not an extensive tour. It's kind of like, hey, it's a warm-up tour. So arenas, September 11th, next week. Less than a week from today, September 11th, Barclays Center, New York. September 11th, Kia Forum, Los Angeles. September 16th, Barclays Center, New York. September 22nd, Barclays Arena, Hamburg, Germany. September 24th, O2, London. September 28th, Inspire Arena, Seoul, Korea. November 11th, Coliseo Mediplas, Bogota, Colombia. So listen, I'm sure and this is like, I guarantee you tomorrow or next week, we're going to get an announcement of all the Danny Rimmer festivals, maybe Sick New World, Rocklahoma, Rock Fest, all the big festivals, Riot Fest, Lollapalooza, they're all going to have Linkin Park next year. I stake my life on it. New album, world tour, at least festivals around the world. Streetlight, though, is also here. Mary J. Vasquez is here. Hello, hello, hello. So tell me how you feel about this Linkin Park news. This shit's cray. I can't believe they're going to go right on the road. They've been ready. I didn't like the whole announcement of the announcement thing. That shit sucks. Don't do it. Bands should not do it. As one of my homeboys just texted me, he thinks Emily sucks. I think she's great, but what are you going to do? Anybody they pick cannot replace Chester. This is why Soundgarden cannot pick another singer and come back as Soundgarden. STP was able to do it. It's very rare that you can get a replacement singer as competent, as good, and well-liked by the fan base as the previous legendary guy. It's really hard. STP has had 2 singers die by suicide or overdose, like unheard of. And Chester replaced Wylde, and Wylde was his favorite singer, and he was freaking out about it, whether he could do it or not. But anyway, Linkin Park broke the internet. This is going to break the internet next week. So Mastodon and Lamb of God, as we just talked, just completed their Ashes of Leviathan tour. If you saw that tour, drop a hell yeah. And we did an extensive review of that show. Thank you to Kimberly Moran, one of our new people in LA. We did a retrospective on Lamb of God. I still might do one on Mastodon. I haven't had a chance this week. And they just started teasing a collaborative release for next week. So less than a week from now, Mastodon and Lamb of God will either release or stream a brand new song from either or both bands. And it looks pretty cool. There's a visualizer on all their socials. It's coming out a week from today. My man Greg County, who passed by earlier from Metal Injection, has floated the theory that maybe they're going to cover each other. I think that would be amazing. I would love to see Lamb of God. Oh, lost one of my lights. I would love to see Lamb of God cover a Mastodon show. Oh, yeah, I'm way in the dark here. Let's do this. Yeah. Let's plug this guy in. I got to plug it back in because otherwise you don't see my face. It's too dark. I look like I'm in witness protection. Adriana, I can't live without you. We could go into hiding, Chrissy. Nope. There we go. That's better. All right, I'm back. Holy shit. I'm back. So yeah. So that's amazing. Like, I can't even believe that we might get a song. Like, what songs would you like to hear Mastodon do with Lamb of God? And what songs would you like to hear Lamb of God do with Mastodon? I'd like to hear your opinions. Feel free to join the conversation. That's what it's all about here. It's my show. It's also your show. I'm here. You there. We're talking METAL and rock. That's what I live for. The other huge story of the week, Ghost Cult helped break the news. Behemoth, who did their 30th anniversary live stream this spring, is releasing a live album, Blu-ray, vinyl, everything of this show. And the internet broke itself when they released the deep cut from the early 90s of their black and death metal phase. You know, Behemoth now is like a theatrical black metal inspired metal band, but I wouldn't call them strictly black metal like Black Raid or Halder or Mayhem still is. But people are extremely excited for this new Behemoth release, this live record. And then I believe we're going to get a new Behemoth album next year. So this is there's a lot of exciting stuff for Behemoth. And I want to just thank, if you're here because you saw that story on our website, thank you. And I appreciate you all. That's really cool. It was really cool for us to see this story blow up. Also, yeah, there's the album cover. Also, Sid the Kid did his first show back with Slipknot at Rocklahoma this weekend. Rocklahoma had like a sellout festival, like one of their biggest things ever. He just burned his face and body up in that fire at his house in Iowa that we talked about last week. And then he went to Rocklahoma, to Pryor, Oklahoma, to perform with Slipknot with the mask on and the hoodie and the robe and with the fire. And like, if you ever burn your hand on the stove and you put your hand in your flame, you feel it. I can't imagine what it was like for him to do a live show with pyro. That shit's just psycho. But also, much love to him. I want him to, I don't know. He basically melted his face, he said. Oh my God. Shades of James Hetfield. Luckily, he wasn't hurt worse. Luckily, he was not hurt worse. But, like, get well soon. And Slipknot's continuing the tour this weekend. So, also, Opeth, whose new record is coming out soon, dropped 2 playthrough videos in the last week of their very first single, Chapter 1 or S1. I believe we're going to get a new Opeth single very soon. And the Opeth headline tour is coming soon, and they will be stopping in my town that I live in, San Francisco, on Halloween. And that's my Halloween plans right now. Gojira last week released their Olympic song, Mea Culpa Kaira, the Revolutionary War French song that they reinterpreted as a metal song. And in a new interview, Joe Duplantier says they are working on their new album, their first one since Fortitude. And I am here for it. Please give me all the new Gojira in 2025. They own their own music studio. They usually work very efficiently once the music is written, where they record, produce, and everything else. Bob Cleese is here, or Bob Cleese is here. Hello, Bob. Thanks for passing by our show. New Gojira in the works, starting to write the new record. Once again, we talk about Metallica a lot here because they're just in the news all the time. They do a lot of stuff. That's why we talk a lot about Metallica. They have updated the Orion Virtual Museum exhibit again at their Black Box at Metallica.com, and they added some new stuff this week, including a new live video never before seen of Cliff Burton performing Anesthesia, pulling teeth, as well as 150 photos of Cliff that have apparently rarely been seen before, because they were for magazines only. Pharma Divers here. Hey, Kim, what up? We were texting last night. I think I just, if you just saw the Gojira photo, I think that's your photo. I don't know if you just missed it, but I just talked about Gojira writing new music, and I used your photo from the tour you covered. I scratched my butt, because my butt is itchy. Butt cheek, not my butthole, because that's gross. Bummer. Here, I'll literally click back a second so you can see this photo you shot of Gojira. Because I'm that 100% that dude. 100% that dude. Great photo. We love Gojira here. Oddly, my partner Omar Cordy, not a huge Gojira fan, although he has photographed the band. Just weird. He's just weird. He has his own taste in music. It's all good. All right. This was a big story like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, where, I'm trying to stay away from this stuff as much as possible, but sometimes I can't help myself. So Donald Trump used a Foo Fighters song. Foo Fighters got mad about it, didn't realize they had licensed their music to BMI. BMI allowed Donald Trump's campaign to use the song. People are mad. People are happy. People are like, aha, you dummies. So a list of, Reuters reported this, a list of 30 bands has come out that wants to restrict Donald Trump or any politicians from using their music. The estate of Prince, Adele, R.E.M., Neil Young, Rolling Stones, Elton John, Ariana Grande, Foo Fighters, Pink, Queen, Stevie Nicks, Simon Garfunkel, The Killers, John Fogerty, Rage Against the Machine, obviously, Celine Dion, the estate of Tom Petty, Katy Perry, Black Eyed Peas, Beyonce, Leonard Skinner, David Bowie, Miley Cyrus, Rihanna, Billy Joel, Cher. I think Billy Joel was trending for an entire day on X because of this, which I think was kind of funny. Heidi Morrow is here. We've got a few more people passing through. Nice to see you. Cher, the Beach Boys, Nickelback, of all people, who are Canadian, Kenny Rogers, and Lorde, or Lordy. Again, if you have licensed your music out, the job of the license holder is to sell your music to be used. So, let's not get too in our feelings about these things. A song being played at a political event is not an endorsement of that artist. I can see why it feels like it, but it's not. So just get over yourselves. We have bigger things. We have bigger fish to fry, as the expression goes. Cecilia Elder 13 is here. Hello. Cecilia is a great name and was one of my early favorite songs in my early life because Simon and Garfunkel have a song called Cecilia. Bum, 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 bum. That's all I know. I don't remember the words. Sorry. Liquid Death, our homies. I'm drinking one right now. Mango Chainsaw. And Liquid Death this week auctioned off a coffin full of Liquid Death. An officially licensed, official Liquid Death branded coffin full of Liquid Death. They do not stop going hard on all the things. And love them for that. They're so great. Devil Driver, this is pretty surprising. Mike Spritzer, longtime Devil Driver guitarist, joined after the debut album was released, replaced a founding member who co-wrote that album. He has been in the band for 20 years and 9 of their 10 albums. And he quit this week. A story we broke because I never sleep, so I happen to be awake at some ungodly hour, and I quickly drafted up the story. And Mike dropped some shade on the band. So you know that Devil Driver recently canceled the whole tour. They were about to go on tour with Fear Factory and a bunch of other bands, and Dez Fafara got very ill and had to cancel the tour at the last second. And you know, people were throwing shade on Dez. I have interviewed Dez a bunch. I know him to be a very stand-up guy. Him and his wife are exceptional business people, and maybe they're, you know, fiercely dominant in the business world as a management group and tour booking agency and things like that. But I've interviewed Dez. He loves music. He loves his life. And people were like, "Oh, he didn't go to the hospital." And Dez had to like tweet a hospital photo of him going to the hospital in an ambulance. You don't go in the wee-woo box, in the wee-woo machine, unless you, unless you have to go in the ambulance. They don't just take you in the ambulance unless you're sick. Curtis Lowe is here. So Mike left. He said some pretty unfavorable things about the band. He wants to be in a band that tours all the time, plays all the time. And he said that even before COVID happened, he didn't feel like the band was a full-time enough enterprise. He has his own new band, Verona on Venus, and he's hoping that maybe he'll either do that full-time or join another band. I know he was legitimately sick. And we don't know what it is. Like, it's his personal business not to say what it is. We talked about Josh Homme of Queens of the Stone Age had a whole year of tour dates canceled. All of 2024, maybe into 2025, because he had a cancer scare, and we don't know if cancer came back or not, but he's off the road. And it's not fair to forecast and speculate what's wrong with a person. Like, let them, it's a family issue. Josh Homme has kids. Dez has kids and family and other things that matter much more than Coal Chamber or Devil Driver. I'm sorry. So, good luck to Mike Spritzer. He definitely dropped the A-bomb on his former band on the way out. And I will note, though, that Devil Driver has had quite a few lineup changes the last few years. But Dez always comes out on top. He's, to me, has been a consummate pro. But I know, people are always looking to have some drama. As Blade said recently in the Deadpool movie, some motherfuckers are still trying to ice skate uphill. Not this guy. Hell on Wheels is a book by Greg Jacobs. We'll have an interview with him soon. This is his life as a roadie for a bunch of prominent punk rock bands, and I'm very excited to dig into this book and interview Greg and talk about this book. You can get this book now wherever you buy books. Maybe we'll put a link to it in the description. Also, this is some terrible news for the whole music world. Motley Crue has made new music. Motley Crue has covered the Beastie Boys. Motley Crue has covered Fight for Your Right to Party. Motley Crue is coming out with a new EP. All of these things are awful and horrible. I was and still am a Motley Crue fan of the old music. Vince has never been a good singer. What they're doing now sucks. I love John 5. Just play the hits. Go out on tour and play the hits. Don't do this. Don't make covers. They covered Like a Virgin. Just don't do it. These things suck. Just don't. Do us all a favor and just don't. That's what I'm saying. I'm never going to get to interview them anyway, so whatever. Don't do this anymore. Please stop. And another story this week. Well, what does Corey Taylor think about this? We're going to find out. But apparently, Alicia Taylor, Corey Taylor's wife, who I've interviewed here before, has dropped a bomb on a homewrecker coming into her life. Apparently, the guitarist of Destroy Boys, a band I have been a fan of from the East Bay, she went hard last weekend on social media. Apparently, the guitarist from Destroy Boys was like trying to approach Corey right when he was having some personal problems. Maybe she saw he was vulnerable, trying to worm her way in there and get him to cheat with her. Corey obviously had all the receipts. Alicia blew up the spot. I mean, we don't talk about kind of drama like this, but this was so mind-blowing to me that this happened. I was like, this is insane levels of shit right here. Like, you know, I don't know. I come from a different generation. If you see someone desirable and they're taken, leave them the fuck alone. Whatever your gender, whoever you like fucking, whatever your kink is, that's cool with me. Live and let live. I'm good. But Jesus Christ, if somebody's married, don't fuck with them. It's not that hard. There's plenty of people out there. Maybe there's no one else like Corey Taylor. It seems like this chick was fixated on him. She might have even put her number in his kid's iPad, who is Alicia's child. He has children with Alicia. He has grown sons and children with Alicia. Jesus Christ. Don't do some shit like this. Some insane shit. Don't do it. And Slipknot is very powerful. Their management is 5B management is super powerful. Your band will be blacklisted. Believe me. And I like this band. I have been a fan of this band. I saw them live. They're from the East Bay. Don't fuck around and find out unless you're ready for the consequences. And I've interviewed Alicia. I met her in person. Don't fuck with her. Don't fuck with her. She was very nice to me. I'll link that in the replay on YouTube. But Jesus Christ. Looks like my cell phone is dying, so if I lose you guys on TikTok, I apologize. We're almost done. This Machine Rising is a brand new documentary made in cooperation with Dropkick Murphys about the life of folk singer Woody Guthrie, one of the most important musicians in American music history and folk music history. We gave you a story last week about how Dropkick Murphys frontman jumped off stage to punch out a fucking Nazi at one of his shows, which is fucking amazing. I'm recording. You know what, Kim? I'll tell you what. This week I'm in a remote location. I'm not at my office. I'm not at the HQ, the San Francisco West Coast HQ, the West Coast Avengers office of Ghost Call. I'm pet sitting for my homie, my friend. I'm in her office, in her house, and I'm away from my toxic roommate, and I'm just feeling it right now. I also have like 40 cups of coffee today, and I need to piss like a racehorse. So, wow! I am Cornholio, but in real life. This Machine Rising, I'm definitely going to check this documentary out. I'm already compiling my top albums of the year for 2024. I'm compiling my top documentaries and concert films. And I can't wait to see this thing. I love me. Woody Guthrie, super important in American music history. So influential, so important. And Dropkicks, man. Just we're lucky to have them at this point, still be a thing. We interviewed them a few years ago also. All right, it's time for Music Friday. And we are in the go fuck yourself part of the year where the Music Friday lists are just fucking ridiculous, full of crazy bands. It's crazy pants how much music is coming out this week. And so let us quickly run through the list of bands with an album out this week. And I will try to speed it through. Let's see if I can increase this font because I'm blind as fuck and I can't see anything. And all right, that's good. 40 Watt Sun for your Stoner Doom. Little Weight, Fisher's Folly Records. Alucto Lux on the Anja Offensive label. Arlid Broter, Spectre of Sounds, James Bond music reimagined on Apollon Records. Black Sights, The Promised Land, self-released. Black Staff, The Storyteller. Black Sun, a lot of black in the name of bands. I think we were talking about this on my other podcast. Black Wizard, Witch, Storm, Doom, Sub Pale. All these names should be like stricken from the record. No new bands should have these names. Black Sun self-titled album. I'm sure you guys are all. Blitzkrieg, famous for being covered by Metallica in their early days. Their self-titled new album is out. I listened to it today. It was awesome. Mighty Music is the label. Body Snatcher for some punchy hardcore. Vile Conduct out their EP on Monarch Heavy, the great Monarch Heavy. Boguslaw, Balsarix, Krylord, Endless Life. Boston Manor, not from Boston, by the way. Boston Manor, their new album, Sundiver, out on Sharp Tone Records, some metalcore and rock. Castle, I mentioned them earlier. We have an interview coming out with them tonight. Castle, Evil Remains on Hammerheart Records. Cobbermouth, Untethered, The Cold Stairs, Consumer, Curse the Sun, Dan Dark, Drunkenweisen, Pioneers of Alcohol. Sounds like a Sodom-style band, except not. Thrash, Eccentric Pendulum, Fabulae Dramatis, Fame on Fire, good band on Hopeless Records, another rock metalcore band. Vance Eddie Clark, the original guitarist of Motorhead's got a compilation record coming out. Make My Day. Go ahead, punk. Make My Day. The rock and roll story of Fast Eddie Clark on B&G Records. It's like a vinyl with a book and liner notes and all kinds of shit. Finish Ticket, cool band on Better Noise Music. A Forest Mighty Black on Go Down Records. Forgotten King. Majestic Mountains, probably a heavy metal record. Future Palace, Distortion. Gigantum, we premiered that album today, self-titled. Glacier, A Distant Violent Shudder. God Dethroned, we interviewed them recently on our website. West Not West is here. What's up, West Not West? We've seen you here before. Nice for you to pop in. God Dethroned, God is an Astronaut, another killer band, Embers. Grendel's Sister on Cruz del Sur. Hell is Real. This is a super group of hardcore guys I was telling you guys about recently. And try to get some review action happening with them. Hell That Is Port, Corrosive with a K. My beloved Laura Jane Grace of Against Me with their new project, Laura Jane Grace and the Mississippi Medicals, Give An Inch EP. They're going on tour, and Laura Jane Grace is going to play Riot Fest and do a set with Catbite where they do Op Ivy covers. If we can't get Op Ivy back, I will take some Op Ivy covers. Lily Refrain, great artist. We premiered a song for her not too long ago, live in London from the Hammersmith Apollo. Lily Refrain, if you're a fan of Wardruna, High Lung, bands like that, Enslaves more folky stuff. Kaidi Ron, who we interviewed last week, Karidi, good times. Many Eyes, the supergroup, The Light Age, their Perseverance Records debut is coming out. That's Jamie Joss's label. Many Eyes is the band that features Greg Puciato of Dillinger Escape Plan and 3/5 of Every Time I Die. Oh, no, I got that backwards. That's Better Lovers. Many Eyes is Keith Buckley and the Jamie Dawson production team. I have had too much coffee today. Sorry about that. Many Eyes, Keith Buckley, Better Lovers, the other guys. Sorry. I'll keep it straight. Midwife, this record fucking kills, and I've seen this band live. No Depression in Heaven, great band. Misanthropia, Envy the Dead. Moose Cult, Mr. Big, The Big Finish Live. This is a live album and live performance of their farewell tour and album. Mutant Blast. This looks good. Officium Triste. Pat Travers, live and loaded 84. I would get that. Peeling Flesh. We got a review of that coming to the site. The G Code. The GGG unit code. Paleothon. Phil Mogg of UFO. Mogg's Motel. Eddie Trunk's favorite band ever. Probably Eddie Trunk's favorite artist ever. Phil Mogg. Pure Reason Revolution out on Inside Out Music's probably some progressive metal. Sidewalk Mafia, Soul Crushers. Still more. Silvern, Stardust Sermons on Vendetta Records. Solaris, A Fading Future on Ripcord Records. Solitary, Embrace the Darkness. We're almost done here. Stoneman, A Storm of Sun. Cybris, Tunis Kazarskin. Uncle Dave's Biscuit Barrel. Surrender to Death, A History of Atlanta Metal Underground Volume 1. I am finishing my review of that tonight. Vestige, Volus, Wolfheart, and Zer Dil Dunkelheit. That is all the records coming out here. I especially also like Volus and Wolfheart. Wolfheart is a killer band. Draconian Darkness is the record. That is all the New Music Friday that is fit to print. It's time for a look at our mailbag. We're going to go really fast because my cell phone's about to die, and I don't want to lose you guys. Chicago Cat is here. Jose Perez is here. Clint's still hanging unless you are a treasure. So for the mailbag this week, this is pretty cool. I brought this from my house because I needed to have a thing for the mailbag. I got this awesome graphic novel of Jinx Dawson the Coven, who I love a lot. This is amazing. This is Monsters Illustrated, and you can see here in the deck, if you're watching on TV, here's some cool pages. This was sold to me by Jinx Dawson herself from her awesome eBay store, and it's basically a fantasy tale about Satan and Jinx Dawson of Coven, who rules. Jinx Dawson of Coven is one of our biggest interviews on YouTube and the channel. Here it is. You guys can see it a little better there. You guys can see it a little better there. And it looks like I lost the TikTok, guys. That was to be expected. That's fine. How are you going to do? But I'm really stoked about this book. I love this thing. I collect a lot of comic books. I have a tremendous collection of comic books, either themed or about bands and band histories as comic books. This is a big thing. This is pretty phenomenal. Jinx, there's a striking resemblance to Jinx in the graphic novel. This is actually illustrated by Jinx Dawson, Monsters Illustrated. Jinx Dawson is a spellcaster with Dark Wolf, the Hell Warrior. This is kind of a naked picture of Jinx Dawson on the front cover, a naked interpretation of Jinx, who is 70-something years old and still gorgeous, by the way. I'm not ashamed to say this. But the likeness is uncanny. The likeness is uncanny. And actually looks a lot like Jinx in the original Coven album, Witchcraft Steals Souls. And she's on the back cover. It's pretty amazing. And I'm pretty proud that I have this. This is pretty rad. You can buy a lot of merch and shirts and vinyl and stuff from Jinx's own eBay store. I'll link it in the description so you can help support. And we're on that interview's going to 50,000 soon. So thanks to everybody that watched. Some of you might have been here because of that video. And that is our show. Holy shit. We made it through another one in a sort of reasonable hour and 22 minutes. I'd like to try to get these done sooner. Let's just take one last update at the football game. And it's 20-17. Ravens coming back. 13:37 left in the fourth quarter. I'm going to go make some dinner and watch the end of the game. Thanks for being here. We're here every week. You could spend your time with anyone, but if you watched up to now or you watch any part of the show, I just personally want to say thank you. September is going to be wild and woolly. We're going to have a ton of festival coverage. We're going to have a ton of stuff to talk about, bands to talk to, all kinds of cool things here at Ghost Cult. And as we say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world. So please, I mean this, take care of yourself. If you're not doing okay, DM us. Our DMs are always open, and I will be there for you. I am no stranger to losing too many friends and rock soldiers because of mental illness. So please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Somebody falls down in the pit, pick them up. If somebody falls down in real life, pick them up. And stay as metal as humanly possible. And as I do every week, I'm going to hit the outro music, and I'm going to dance a jig. Peace and grace, everybody.